Now let's test the flammability of this stuff. So this is crude that still has a higher percentage of petrol, because you can actually even upgrade it. Like I told you, because it contains all the chains of hydrocarbons, all the chains you know of. It's actually basically crude. It's the same crude. So what you do is you separate those fractions through fractional distillation. But since your focus is on petrol, what you do is upgrade that crude. So the first thing you do is that you pass the crude, the direct crude, through a catalytic cracking machine. I won't give you the secrets of that because that is meant to be mine. The catalyst then will crack the chains into shorter chains of petrol and even the gases, you know, propane, methane, and all that. I did actually pack some gas on a propane tank and used it myself to cook. So yeah, that's also interesting. So now this is some of the crude that contains a lesser percentage of petrol, a lesser percentage of the shorter chain molecules. So now let's test its flammability so that you can actually see what I mean. This is too much, let me pour it first. Okay, we don't need a lot. This stuff is smelly. If you were here, you would actually smell it. This contains mostly the larger molecules. That's why it's not as flammable, but it in itself is actually very flammable. Like you can see, it's very flammable. So it's just not explosive. Why? Because it contains mostly the larger molecules. So in this, maybe there's a lot of diesel, kerosene, and all the higher molecule, the longer chain molecules. So like you can see, it's very flammable. Just that it's not as explosive, since your gasoline car requires fuel that is actually very explosive. Let me wipe this off because I need it to be clean. Okay, now let's test this one. This is also the same crude, but with the higher percentage of the shorter chain molecules. This had to pass through a catalytic cracking machine. Still part of the machine. As you can see, this is just the pyrolytic chamber. There is other chambers that I have not portrayed here, but you'll see in the next video that I'll post. So as you can see, it's actually evaporating so much that it's causing a low pressure inside, causing this pepper, which is actually used for preventing some of those short molecules to evaporate. Let me show you now. This is a little bit explosive. So you can see it's still crude, but a little bit explosive, more than what you saw here. This is dangerous, I know. Lighting fire next to a very explosive liquid. As you can see, it's very persistent. Now let's clean this up and now move to the petrol that is far much cleaner than this. You can't use this in your car. Your car will actually not, it will run, but you know, it's actually be doomed. So it's better to use now this. You can see it's actually very clean. This is the same stuff you sold in the petrol stations. You can't sell this, but you can sell this. So yes, we moved from this, which is much dirtier and less explosive, to this through upgrading using catalyst. You hydrocrack this using a zeolite catalyst, and now to this, to the final purification process. Now, how much explosive is this? You can actually see it's very explosive. If actually the camera could see, I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but there are actually fumes coming off this place. So I can't actually light it up and then leave it. The camera should actually move behind a little bit. It's a lot. See? That's what I mean. After purification, this stuff, you see, it actually even burns so fast. and it's off. That shows that there is this liquid here has a very high octane level. And it's actually, the octane levels are actually increased due to the fact that I used a catalytic cracking machine, which upgrades these molecules from being just normal aromatics to being aromatics with a higher octane. Meaning this stuff is actually V-power. It's very, very good for your engine. And that's it. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you have any other questions on how to contact me, you can comment below and I'll